fine for $9 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for falsifying loot box drop rates. Do you guys know what that means? That means they put there 4%, but it's not 4%, it's 3%. Damn. Okay, let's see what is this. Fine for nearly 9 million for falsifying loot box drop rates. This fine is the largest ever imposed for a violation of South Korea's Consumer Protection in Electronic Commerce Act. Damn, this one is the largest one ever. Wow. So this seems to be for MapleStory, I think. I think this is for MapleStory specifically. It's not for any other game. So a report from a Korea Economic Daily says Nexon has been slapped with a fine of 11.6 billion, I think that's the Korean currency, won, is it? So 8.85 million by Korea's Fair Trade Commission, Korea's FTC, okay, for changing the drop rates of items in MapleStory and Bubble Fighter multiple times between the years 2010 and 2021 without telling anyone that the changes had been made. But how do they know though? How do players know? I think, is there a way to find this out? Like, unless you have multiple accounts. Cubes, as they are known in MapleStory, are randomized items costing roughly $1.50 each that are used to change or upgrade the power of in-game equipment. They were added to the game in May 2010, according to the report, shortly after which Nexon began messing with the drop rate so more powerful cubes would appear less often. Wait, this is like 10 years ago, 13 years ago now, 14 years ago now. It continued changing the odds until March 2021, in some cases ensuring that particularly high demand cubes didn't drop at all, but did not notify players of the changes. In fact, in August 2011, Nexon released a statement saying that no changes had been made. Okay, they went out and say no changes had been made. Okay, most likely data mines. Alright. Loot box drop rates was a major hot topic several years ago. In 2017, China imposed a law that requires all game makers to reveal their loot box drop rates. And I think that's a good thing. I think like you gotta tell, is it 4%, is it 1%, is it 2%? You can't just, oh, this is just a gacha completely, you will never know what's the odds of you getting a character. I think PT and gacha rates, very, very important. These two are like must have in my opinion, right? To like sort of protect. I mean, when I say protect, I mean like lessen the blow a little bit for some players. Gambling addicts will never get protected anyways. A couple years later, major publishers in North America facing growing pressure from the US government followed suit. Knowing the drop rates is the only way players can have an idea how likely it is that they are going to get something good for their money, and thus, at least in theory, how aggressively they should keep throwing money at it, which is what makes it such a big deal. But of course, that usefulness is dependent upon the information being accurate, which according to the KFTC, the Korean Fair Trade Commission, nothing to do with Kentucky Fried Chicken by the way, was not the case. Okay. This isn't the first time Nexon has been fined by the KFTC, not KFC, for messing around with drop rates. In 2018, it had an $875,000 at the time, okay, for misleading Sudden Attack 2 players about loot box drop rates. That's partly why this new fine is the largest ever imposed by the Commission for a violation of South Korea's Consumer Protection in Electronic Commerce Act. Damn, 9 million. 9 million. We have imposed the largest fine because the cube is a core product of MapleStory. The violation period is long, and this is the second violation by Nexon. So this is the second time they're doing this. The first time they did this was 10 years ago. Wait, not 10 years ago, 2018. Dude, that's quite recent. That's not 10 years, that's like 6 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago, right? Sudden Attack, Korea Fair Trade Commission Market Surveillance Department, Director Kim Jung-ki said, Nexon said it accepted the KFTC's decision but may challenge it according to the report. I've reached out to Nexon for more information and will update it if I receive a reply. Nexon. Can Nexon win this though? Do you guys think Nexon will actually pay 9 million? 9 million is a lot of money. Nexon is trying to earn money. So I think they will counter sue this. I think. Or they will try to apply for like a... What's the term again? Like a second decision or something, right? To reevaluate the case maybe? I don't know. All this does is encourage companies that it's okay to lie, cheat, and steal money from players, because all that will happen is a small slap on the wrist. This is embarrassing. I don't think 9 million is a small rap on the wrist. Small slap on the wrist. That's quite a lot of money for Nexon, even for Nexon. I don't know what's Nexon's revenue overall, but Blue Archive revenue is always about 2 to 3 million, so it's like their 3 months revenue. That's a lot. Since they earn billions, they probably just pay. Really? But which one is cheaper though? Is it cheaper for them to just pay, or is it cheaper for them to use that money for you know, like I don't know if they can actually apply for something to lessen the blow altogether. There's a lot of ways to milk gacha players, they just choose the underhanded one. Nexon haters are dancing. 9 million revenue compared to their revenue of billions. Yeah, I think Nexon is a big company. For sure their revenue is in billions, I get it. Nexon is worth a lot more. I don't think 9 million matters to them. Yeah, 9 million is probably not much for a big company like Nexon. But at the same time, I think they will always... Knowing them, they would try to do something. Wasn't there like a case for Nexon? I forgot what game was it. Was it Dark and Darker or something? Like they were... Nexon was suing somebody or something? That was like last year. But I can't remember what the particular case, because it was a PC game. Somebody left the company and stole things from the company or something. And then Nexon was trying to go after them. There's a very high chance they made vastly more than 9 million from this specifically, not overall. It's the biggest fine ever given by FTC. Okay. It's a bad press, but it should be way bigger given how extremely grossing MapleStory is. They can legit earn this back in a day. Damn. Yeah, I completely forgot MapleStory is one of the highest earning games actually, right? MapleStory actually earn a lot. If they're actually scamming players like that, that's fed up. The same Nexon suit Dark and Darker developer. Huh. Wait, what? They will find 11.6 billion won, okay. Based off this, 550 billion won was made, which is 418 million US dollars. Let's cut that by 1/4 to be very generous, as they changed it in August 2011, about a year after it came out. So 313 million, okay. The fees they had to pay for this was just slightly over 2% of the sales they made. Hopefully my math isn't too far off. But yeah, this was insanely low penalty despite it being the largest fine given by FTC for violating ECA. But you can't just look at revenue this way, right? So I think people are looking at the revenue, how much Nexon earned during that period. Like Nexon earned $418 million or $330 million. But how much of this money, $330 million, how much is this from Gacha? Because they manipulate the loot box, right? But you don't know if this 330 million is all from the gacha. Maybe this 330 million, some of it is cosmetic, some of it is buying mounts in Maple... I don't know if you can buy a mount in MapleStory. What else can you buy in MapleStory? I'm sure you can buy a lot of things, right? So looking at just revenue might not be the most accurate way to look at this kind of thing, right? He's looking at 2% sales that they made. Actually, I'm not super familiar with MapleStory. Do they only have gacha? Maybe they have some other things that you can buy as well. Because I know a lot of games, usually MMOs, you can buy a lot of things, right? So yeah, that could be just one aspect of it. They still need to pay off cash equipments. Yeah, you don't know how many percentage of the profits are like divided into. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Welcome to Korea, a country literally ruled by Samsung and Hyundai. Huh. Wasn't there a study done on something like this? Companies are less likely to do illegal or finable things if they actually think they'll get caught. The threat of bigger fines doesn't matter much. No, I think... even though people look at it this way, right? People look at it as, okay, this is bad for Nexon. Okay, companies would just do this all over again. But I do think this ruined the company's reputation. I think reputation, you cannot put value for a reputation. Imagine if it was Hoyoverse doing this. How much you guys would stop playing Hoyoverse games? Like, I think there's more impact to it than just monetary value. Like the reputation of a company. No, but knowing Nexon, probably their reputation is already like not at the best, right? Outside of Blue Archive, probably, right? I feel like the other ones is like there's a value to reputation. I feel like if a company you know is doing stuff and this appear in the news as headlines, even though the money that they got fined wasn't exceptionally high, I still think the reputation can cost them a lot of money. It can cause a lot of players to not want to play Nexon games in the future. And you can never calculate those in monetary value. You could always lose potential customers in a way. So we'll see how this goes, right? Nexon is competing against a lot of other companies. There's a lot of other Korean companies that they're competing against. Netmarble. I was going to say NetEase, but that's China. Netmarble, Nexon. What else? What else, guys? NeoWiz. Yes, NeoWiz is pretty good. Korean company.